to the Hello Dolly musical. Louis Armstrong recorded the song in 1964, winning the Grammy for the Song of the Year in 1965. So enjoy. Every time I decided to make this easier, but no, so remains. Next one up is Secondhand Rose, which was written by Grant Clark and James Hanley for Fanny Bryce, who introduced the song in the Ziegfeld Follies in 1921. In 1965, the song was recorded by Barbra Streisand, who starred in Funny Girl, which was based on Fanny Bryce's life. So enjoy.
All
Love with Amy is from the musical Where's Charlie, which I've never heard of. I don't know if you guys have. It was written by Frank Lesser and debuted on Broadway in 1948 with Ray Bolger, who sang this song. If You Knew Susie Like I Know Susie was originally written for Al Jolson by Buddy DeSilva and Joseph Meyer. And when Jolson sang it in his show in 1925, it got little reaction. So he then gave it to Eddie Cantor, saying he thought it would fit him better. When Cantor sang it, he brought down the house, and the song was identified with Cantor for the rest of his career. The next song, Sunny, is a soul jazz standard written by the American singer and songwriter Bobby Hebb in 1963. It's one of the most performed and recorded songs, with hundreds of versions released. And notably, Cher sang the song on her album in September 1966, and at that time was considered to be a tribute to her husband at the time, Sonny Bono. Keep over to the sun. like to call them auditions. So if you make it through this song, you can join the chorus. So, Michael wrote A Little Short. And it's a traditional spiritual that was first noted during the American Civil War. And it's fairly unusual because it's considered both a spiritual and a work song. It is said that when the load was heavy, the boatmen invoked the help of the Archangel Michael, singing to the rhythm of the boat's oars. The best known recording was released in 1960 by the folk band The Highwaymen, briefly reaching #1 hit status as a single. So please sing along with us. Next up is Hey Jude, which was written by John Lennon and Paul McCartney, and it coincided with a period of upheaval of the Beatles. This ballad evolved from Hey Jules, which is a song McCartney wrote to comfort John Lennon's young son Julian after Lennon had left his wife for the artist for Yoko Ono. The lyrics espouse a positive outlook on a sad situation, while also encouraging Jude to pursue his opportunities to find love. After the last verse, the song shifts to a coda featuring a na-na-na-na refrain that lasts over 4 minutes in the original version. But don't worry, our version doesn't last that long. he wrote it in the 2 days after he was discharged from the National Guard. Now, the Proud Mary was a real ship. I always thought it was about a lady named Mary, but it's a ship. And was based in Memphis, Tennessee, traveling along the Mississippi River from 1928 to 1978. And in the song, the Proud Mary singer, a low-wage earner, leaves what he considers a good job. He decides to follow his impulse and imagination and hitches a ride on a riverboat queen, bidding farewell to the city. Now, in an interview, Fogerty also explained that he liked Ludwig von Beethoven's Symphony No. 5 and wanted to open a song with similar intro. So you'll hear that in the first 2 bars of the introduction, and then you'll hear it every time. Yes. Now, picture that with Proud Mary. Next we have my favorite part, our piano interlude, Jay Herrick.
Wow. We were just discussing Beethoven, who wrote some of these amazing feats of music, like the Fifth Symphony, like the Ninth Symphony, multitudes of other music. There's 32 piano sonatas. And the recurring Beethoven that has lasted and is more popular than almost any other piece he wrote is this little bag titled number 25, named For the Police. And so it's for police. And it actually went before Therese, because Therese Montfatti was the woman who ended up with the actual manuscript before it was published. And there were also another few Elises in his life, other people. So I think actually Elise is first the concept that we all have some mysterious thing somewhere that we don't really know, but we really want, and it's really beautiful because it's Elise. And this Elise is very evocative, and she has many different moods. So let's see what she's like.
chance to recover because our next piece is going to be a lot of work for him too. I might mention that the last couple of concerts, we've had a vocal soloist with us also, the great-great-grandson of Estrelita, who's cheating on us with another choir on a European tour in Italy at the moment with the University of Miami. So we'll allow that this time. So our next song is They Call the Wind Mariah. It was written by Alan Lerner and Frederick Lowe for the 1951 musical Paint and Wagon. It was also featured in the film of the same name in '69. Lerner and Lowe were inspired to write the song for their play about the California Gold Rush, which was based on a 1941 George Ripley Stewart novel, Storm, which featured a storm named Maria. And that, in turn, that novel inspired the meteorologists to start the practice we know today of naming all these storms. You know, we know so well here in Florida. So they call the wind Mariah. Again, that's a separate applause for the piano. That's hard work. All right, next up is Sweet Caroline, which was written and performed by Neil Diamond in May of 1969. And in interviews, Neil Diamond has given two different explanations for the song's origin. In 2007, he stated that the inspiration for the song was John F. Kennedy's daughter, Carolyn Kennedy, who was 11 years old at the time. However, in 2014, Diamond said it was about his then wife, Marcia Murphy, but he needed a three-syllable name to fit the melody. So who knows? Sweet Caroline.
Where
And next we have Mr. Bojangles, who's written and originally recorded by American country artist Jerry Jeff Walker, who was inspired to write the song after a true life encounter with a street performer in a New Orleans jail. It's since been recorded by other artists, including the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band and Sammy Davis Jr., becoming one of his signature performances. It's your turn again. Next up is another sing-along. Bill Bailey, Won't You Please Come Home? And this was written by Huey Cannon, who is an American songwriter and pianist. And he wrote the song in 1902 when he was working as a bar pianist in Michigan. He was inspired by jazz musician Willard Bill Bailey, who was a regular customer and friend, and he told him that his wife was very unhappy with Bailey's irregular hours. So please come home. So please sing along with us.
Come home,
so you're in. All right, next up is Fernando's Hideaway. And this is from the musical The Pajama Game, which was written by Jerry Ross and Richard Adler in 1954. The song is about a fictional invitation-only nightclub of the same name where lovers can meet for secret rendezvous. However, according to author David Hoekstra, Fernando's Hideaway was based on Hilltop, which is an establishment in East Dubuque, Illinois, that had been a speakeasy in the 1920s where Al Capone once hid out from the Chicago police. So, Fernando's Hideaway. Okay, next up we have I'm Henry VIII, or Henry VIII. It was written by Fred Murray and R.P. Weston in 1910. And in 1965, many years later, it became the fastest selling song in history to that point, when it was revived by the Herman's Hermits, dethroning I Can't Get No Satisfaction by the Rolling Stones. So that's pretty impressive. And in the chorus, Henry explains that his wife has been married 7 times before, each time to another Henry. Enjoy. Next we have Bad Bad Leeward Run, which is written by Jim Croce, so you know the song. In 1973, it was the #1 hit for him. He was nominated for 2 Grammy Awards that year. The story of a widely feared man in South Chicago is very similar to his earlier song, Don't Mess Around with Jim, that started it all. So he had a theme and ran with it. So, Bad Leroy Brown. interpretation of our regular rehearsals. We have fun though, and it's all good. Okay, next up we have Charlie Brown. Charlie Brown was written by Jerry Lieber and Mike Stoller. It was a top 10 hit for the Coasters in 1959. It's best known for the phrase, "Why is everybody always picking on me?" which will be sung by Lainey Sully, our soloist for this song. So she'll need some round of applause at the end. Not yet. Okay.
Charlie Brown, he's gonna get caught.
you notice we started with hello and now we're with goodbye? We're good at the clues. Chit-Chit-Chit-See Goodbye was written in 1922 by Gus Kahn, Ernie Erdman, and Danny Russo. It debuted in the musical Mambo, where it was a major hit. It was first recorded by Al Jolson on September 9, 1922. It was further popularized by the singer-comedian Eddie Cantor. So, Chit-Chit-Chit-See. July 4th at the Fountain. You make it out to sing along. And then after that, we restart our rehearsals August 1st. So, be there. Be there, yeah.